What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We are doing a special show tonight. We are having refs only. They get to come in, talk what they want to talk about, compare, contrast, talk about different shows, talk about different promoters, how long they've been doing it. We're going to have a great time. So I'm going to bring in everybody. We got Travis Mathis in the house. We got Ian Shelby in the house. And we have Miss Katrina Cries. What is up?
Oh,
How are you guys tonight?
Doing good over here. Doing very well. Just finished doing my job at about half hour ago. So this is necessary.
Yeah. No, just
Yeah.
mostly chilling after shoot job. So
Yo,
Yep.
I legitimately just got done dinner with the kids.
nice.
And we have another ref joining us. Tim Godfrey, what is up, man?
Oh, hey.
What's up, bud?
Tim, buddy.
What's up, Tim?
Yo, man, I haven't seen that man in ages, man. My
Yeah.
first show with him, man. Damn.
If you turn the phone sideways, you get a better picture. Just to let you know.
I think my phone's locked. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, I had to unlock mine.
For someone in their 20s, I'm an old lady, so
Yeah, I understand that. Once, when they're like, "Oh yeah, I started at 8 o'clock," I'm like, "Yo, man, that's like bedtime for like
I
used
me,
to-
man."
be
Yep.
really worried about in wrestling that I wasn't going to fit in because not only am I just like a big goofy nerd, but I also worry because I knew the party lifestyle was not going to be for me. So like everybody will be like, "We're going to go out
Yep.
to the show and have drinks," and I'm like, "Cool, I want to be in bed by 10 so I can be up and go to the gym." Like I'm not that person at all. I'm
Yeah,
not fun.
ask Ron after every show. They're like, "Let's go out to eat." I'm like, "I'm home."
Sounds like bedtime to me.
Yeah,
So it depends. It depends on the show. After some shows, we're gonna sit right there and smoke cigars. That's gonna happen. And Tim can attest to that. That
I
happens.
sure can. That's fun.
yeah. Now that was fun, but the whole going out
Yeah.
to restaurants afterwards, yeah, I'm going home.
I don't mind a good meal with people.
Screw that. The only thing I don't want to do is go eat with people because that shit takes so long.
Cooper Housley, everybody. He said he ref one show, so that counts, right?
I mean, yeah. But
I refereed
Okay.
Scott Steiner versus
I was about to
James
say
Ellsworth.
the one match that he got to referee was at Big Time Wrestling, so I feel like that does
refereed
count.
the whole show.
nice.
Iron Man.
That's not
Hey,
a
man,
bad
that's-
match to referee.
I know.
Mm-mm.
I refereed Alex Price that night. John Schuyler. Lesarge was on that card.
And then he hung
Daniel
up the
Moore.
stripes because he'd already made it.
Yeah, I retired on top.
There you go. Retired on top.
Did he say that he did a match with Alex Price?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one down here at Deadlock Pro Wrestling, down in North Carolina. I'm kind of hoping he has forgiven me because I totally did. I flubbed the spot, and he was not pleased, and he had every right not to be pleased. So hopefully he has forgiven me and has moved on to greener pastures.
This was like
Who
2
is
years.
it?
But he was a little
This
baby
was-
baby. At the
Had you
time.
debuted as a wrestler yet?
No,
I didn't think
I
so.
wasn't even licensed.
Not live on the stream page.
Well, I mean, it's not like it matters now. It's retro. And plus, on this show, number one, you have to have enough viewers for people to care. And then number two, you know, I run like the most outlaw podcast I think there is. I don't know. Probably.
It's very
Somewhat of an outlaw
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
I could see it.
I don't have a problem believing it. I'm told all the time I'm drizzling shits and I'm this miserable asshole. But that's all well and good.
That's also just wrestling as a whole. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody put anybody. Cooper and I were just talking about this. I don't think I've heard anybody put anybody over to their face ever.
Mm.
Like, I think it took probably 6 months to a year before I knew that John Schuyler even liked me as a ref. And it was because someone said I was reffing John's match, and I was like, "Oh, are you sure?" And he was like, "John asked for you," and I was like, "John likes me?" Like, oh, cool. Like and it's not anything against him. It's just he's so like not only like tunnel vision focused before he goes out, but it's also just like John has that very like cool.
Yes.
Like, just you can't read him for anything.
All right. So, believe it or not, we actually have a question, and it's a really good one. Coming in from Bill Hazelwood, the mouthpiece of the Southeast himself, said, "If you guys have refed a match or refed a show with names, which is easier to work with, names or indie guys to ref?"
Ooh.
Any
So-
name Steiner.
Mm.
That's a hard one because if you think about it, I mean, not all the names are really hard to work with, but you do have the select few that is.
Got Steiner.
Exactly the same one I was thinking about. But I mean, it depends on who you say. I mean, like he said, Scott Steiner, you got some other ones that could be thrown into the mix with him as well. But Scott Steiner was the main one for me that was really hard to work with. But indie guys are more easygoing, I should say,
I don't.
and understanding.
Yeah, I think it just depends because I've worked, thankfully, with names and also not with names, and I really think it depends on the person and it depends on like circumstance. Like working with Lawler, he was just super sweet and just chill. And I think the guys that I've worked with that have like a name behind them, a lot of times just don't, like, you see them as these big personalities in the ring, but they really just are super quiet and kind of kept to themselves in my experience. Like, I haven't met a guy that I think is a bigger name or has been like signed or anything that I felt like was particularly rude or anything.
Mhm.
I would honestly say sometimes guys in the indies are a little more like, you would think they had the contracts personally.
Mhm.
Some of them, yeah.
Like, they carry themselves that way, and it's not always a good thing. But there are also people in the indies who are incredibly hard workers, and people who like have a good head on their shoulders. So I don't know, it's kind of a case by case basis, because I'm sure that I could meet some people who are signed who are just the worst.
Right. So definitely with what Katrina is saying, like, I've done some stuff with names. Like, if any of you all who's on this call, if you get a chance, if Richard Holiday comes back and actually like wrestles, do whatever you can to be in the ring with him. He has been one of the easiest names I've ever worked with, and I love that guy. He was so much fun to work with. But it's true that there are definitely names who are very easy to work with that, you mess up something and they understand. But from my experience, indie guys, they may have the bigger personality than some of the names, but I tend to find they are more forgiving because they're still kind of in their career, so like early in it, and they understand that we're only human and we can only do so much and with that. But I just like to think that wrestlers should have done theater sometime in their life just to understand that we are human, and if you mess up, you just gotta roll with the punches, and that's just how it is. So
Yeah.
that's the theater
Yeah.
kid in me.
Travis?
I think I think it's the same for me too. I think it goes along with like if you've never met them before, it goes along with like stories you've heard about them until you meet them. And then, you kind of play off of that. It really is depending on the person.
Right. I've
'Cause you can
never
hear
been a
you can hear some horror stories about people and how they are backstage until you actually meet them. Then it's just, I think it really depends on that person and how you vibe with them backstage.
I've
It's
never
just
been a
like
rep
Jerry
coach.
Lawler.
Oh.
I've heard horror stories about Jerry Lawler, but then again, when I worked with him, he was cool as could be, great guy, very respectful, treated me well.
Yeah, I didn't have any like, and I think too some of it goes along with like how human you're willing to treat people. Like I told Cooper, I feel very strongly, not just about wrestlers, but about celebrities in general, about treating them like human beings. Like at the end of the day, even though we're all like big nerds who are passionate and marks about this business, like they're people. And I think if you treat them like an object or something to be consumed, they're gonna be off put. They're gonna have a bit of like a whoa kind of attitude towards you. But if you just treat them like a person, I think that also is gonna determine how they react and the way that they treat you as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's see here. Jimmy Ward chimed in. That's wrestling. If they're talking about you, period, it's a sign of progress. Yeah, you know, you got people talking about you. You must be doing something right. Let's see here. Dalton Brown, eyes wide open on this.
Eyes wide
Zach
open.
Hester chimed in. How are y'all doing tonight? Everybody seems to be doing good, Zach. Dalton said Travis is the homie.
Yo, Travis got the
Oh.
shout out. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle and Disney chimed in. Katrina, I'm glad you had a better experience with Lawler than I did. So apparently he had a bad experience with Jerry Lawler, but you know what? He got his invite. If he wants to talk about it, he can be about it. Okay. He got his
That's
invite.
right.
There's a handful of invites sitting out there on red. Okay. I'm telling you what I know. Because some people were like, oh, yeah, I'll be there. And then they were like, oh, wait. Your show? I don't know about this.
It's 8
And
o'clock.
Dalton Brown saying, I'm bringing the heat with the refs. Yeah. Hey, look, I wanted to do something different. I came up with this idea originally over a year ago. Timmy and I were talking about it back then. Timmy and Kylan were the first two who knew about this. Now, the kicker in the original plan that did not come to fruition, I'm telling you guys now it didn't happen. There was another ref who was going to be here. I was in talks with, I believe it was Jimmy Corderas. I was going to have him sit
Nice.
backstage while all of you talked and then bring him in the last few minutes
Wow, that one
just to kind of,
baller.
yeah, that was the goal in the beginning. It didn't happen, obviously. I swear he's not here.
Can I pose a question to the group?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is your least favorite thing to hear as a ref? Whether it be from fans or talent. What is your least favorite comment?
House show spot.
God,
House
Wow.
show spot, kid.
right on the spot.
House show
I get,
spot.
for
kid.
me is I get really annoyed when a fan yells, "That was a slow count, ref." One, I get it's mostly because it's never just one time. It's the same fan throughout the entire match.
Yeah.
And I'm just
It's
like,
Yeah.
a couple shows.
and I'm just like, I'm like, just get with the program. Just enjoy it. Have fun. I am so sorry that you're the person that you want to win is probably not going to win, or they're like the heel. I get
Yeah.
like, just get that. Just drives me bonkers. Like once or twice, fine. It's funny. Every single time,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
I should get mad. Like you're not supposed to, but I just really want. Like there are points I look at them and go, I don't know what you want me to do. Like that's just how I count. Like I'm sorry.
Mine's got to be the you're blind. I mean, like seriously, like
Right.
really, like
You need to respond back and just be like, you
I'm
forgot
not supposed
down
to see it for a reason.
Travis has glasses. He can be like, "God,
Look, let me tell
I
you
wear
something though.
contacts. You just can't see my
Look,
glasses.
so I got heckled so bad because I had glasses on when I've reffed. Then I put my contacts in, and then I get heckled for not having my glasses. So it's like I can't win either way. I'm blind with them and without them. So it's
the
a
glasses are
lose
the
for me.
gimmick, babes.
Yeah, man. So, but you're right. There's like always that one stickler, that one heckler that is like the entire event. It doesn't matter. They've got their one person they want in each match to win, and if not, dude, they're gonna give it to you the whole show. The whole show.
No, 100%. I think the thing that I get irritated by, because like with the fans and stuff, I will almost like lean into the joke sometimes. I think I get more frustrated when you get disrespect behind the curtain. My personal pet peeve is it's not about you. They didn't come to see you.
Ooh, I've heard that so many times.
I
Katrina.
feel like
I've
hear
heard
you.
that a lot.
It's trigger
Oh.
in my soul when I hear that. Because I do think as like a good ref, part of it is understanding like what your role is, and the way that I interact when I wrestle versus the way that I interact with the fans when I ref is very different. Because I do have a job to do there, and yes, the match could not finish or start. Well, I guess I technically can start, but I dare you to finish it without me.
Right.
But I still think that part of our job is not leaning in so much because it kills our authority from like a psychology perspective. So that to be said, I think that like it is very condescending for a performer to, or like a wrestler to go out of their way to say that to a referee, because it's a weird way of trying to undermine the importance of us being there. Because I think if you're remotely decent human being in this business and have a head on your shoulders, like, you know what your role is there. Like, I don't need X, Y, and Z person to say that to me for me to know like the appropriate manner for which to carry myself in the ring and with fans and stuff. So I think that's mine. Because with fans, when they'll be like, I think APW is a good one, because there's these two women who it's almost become like a running joke at this point.
Which you gotta remember, there's more than one APW. We cover multiple
Action
states.
Pack Wrestling in Chester.
Thank you,
There's
dear.
two women who every time I come to the ring, they'll like look at me and be like, "Can you count to 3 tonight?" And I'll be like, "We'll find out when the match starts. We'll find out." And like, it's become this like thing I can lean into and like joke with them about, that I know that they're gonna remember like years from now. But yeah, no, mine's more of that sort of thing. I don't get as bothered by stuff by the fans. Although I do have like a funny fan story where I had to take like a bump, and one lady just leans in and goes, don't help her. She knew what she was getting into when she got in that ring. Which is honestly more comical than anything else. But yeah, that's my personal.
Let me piggyback off of what she said. I mean, I like to put it like this: when somebody does tend to say that the ref does not have in anything to do with the match, I like to point out one match in particular, because this match really, in my opinion, I believe that the ref helped sell this match to the greatest match that it was. The great match that it was. I ain't gonna say it was the greatest match, because that's putting it up there pretty high with some great matches. But the Ric Flair Shawn Michaels match with Charles Robinson as a referee. If you look back and watch Charles Robinson in that match, every single pinfall he was in it. Every single time that there was a moment of intrigue, he was in it. I mean, he helped make that match. And if it wasn't for him and you just had a referee that was just standing there, not doing anything, not really showing a whole lot of emotion, I don't think that match would have been near as great as it was.
I mean, from my perspective, watching you guys, because I've seen all of you work, okay? You've all seen me work. But from where I stand at, it's like I enjoy seeing you guys wince and cringe and duck and all this other, because I feel like I'm over there on the sidelines doing the same thing. The fans are doing the same thing. You're that close to them. You should do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that shows the psychology and the emotion and the investment into what you're doing. Travis and Ian, y'all go ahead and catch this, and then we're going to catch up on some comments.
All right. Yeah, man, so much was said that I totally forgot what was going on. But it's but it's every one of those things when it comes to reffing, especially with what Katrina said. Sometimes it hurts even more when a referee says that to you, says they did not come to see you, so don't be, the leader of the marching band, which I get, which leads to something else with this is sometimes when it comes to having the earpiece, which I know is necessary in almost every show, but those that don't, or like the shows that don't need the earpieces, I am so happy for those shows, because I'm able to just go in there, have fun. I don't have someone in my ear saying, and not even the 5 minutes, 3 minutes, but someone saying, stop leading the marching band, or stop going so hard, you're going to hurt yourself. But it's just, to me, as a referee, there are times I feel like I'm not doing anything. I just feel like I'm here. I'm not adding anything. I want to do more than just, slide on my knees and count to 3. I want to be part of this show and make it fun. And that, when some wrestlers say, I love what you do it more. But then you got the promoter or the senior referee saying, you need to relax and chill. This, they came for the wrestlers, not you. And again, there are plenty of referees out there who think I am just absolutely full of crap and I just got to relax and chill and just do what it is. But, from me, I just want to have fun with it. And that's what I like to do. But it kills when they're psych, that is the wrong idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm piggyback off of all of that because it's to me it's the same because we're all fans. We all came from being fans, and we're still fans, even when we're in the ring. That's like I got told one time I oversell when like people do their spots. Like if it's cringy, if it's a hell of a spot and it's hard, I'm gonna like I'm not selling it. That's how I like like that's me like being genuine in the ring. Like I can't really tone that down because we're in there and we have our own personalities. That's like with Katrina. That's why she's really good at what she does because she has the, the wrestling talent, but it carries over into her refereeing and it shows. And she's really good at it. And like, I think you can still have my thing is like, we're not just there in stripes. We should have our own personalities and have our own ways that we do refereeing. We even though we're getting trained by different people and this they almost want you all to be like the same straight line referee without any personality, nothing, just do it by the book. But we should have our own personalities and have fun and enjoy it and sell it and just like again, we're fans in the ring. I mean, we're there to love it just like the fans. So why not have your own personality?
Right. And I agree with all those sentiments, man, because I hear the fans talking about, blind ref and this and that, and I'm like, I didn't see anything because if I've got to walk around the ring or whatever and pick something up off the floor, hey man, that tool is hidden underneath the ring that he hit the guy with, and I'll pull up the thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything, and I just keep walking. It's like, hey, that ref was blind. Well, damn, that sucks. Hey, we need a rematch. There might be a rematch at the next show. I'll announce the next show here in just a little bit. I actually did that on Sunday. I told a fan, well, if you let me talk, I'll tell you when the next show is, and you might get your rematch. And they were like,
Hey, I'll say in my experience, I don't know that the adult fans are more ruthless than the kid fans. Because you know how many times I've had after a match, like a kid pull me to the side, be like, "You suck!" Like
after my Lawler match, you would think that I would get like praise for the ending of that match. A little girl stayed after the show, and her mom is cackling behind her, and she was like, "I just came over here because I wanted to tell you that was super uncool." When you let Lawler get the pin, like that was not fair. That is not what you're in. Like it went off, and I was like, I asked her what her name was, and she told me, and I was like, you know what? I will remember that every time I'm in the ring. I'll remember what you told me, and it's just that little bit that we can do to get them as excited about it, like Travis said, as we were and still are every time we get in, because I like to think there's still that like little child in us that gets to get excited every time
yes,
in the ring.
Yeah.
Even just being in that space. I think sometimes too, the longer you do it, sometimes you can lose that like specialness if you let yourself. But if you remember,
I've been doing this for a long time,
baby
and I still get
Katrina,
nervous.
I think
Yeah.
it like if you let yourself remember what it felt like to be a kid and like be dying to get in this space, I think it's easier to remember how much you love it.
And then there are the kids that you look at like, do your parents know? Like, why are these parents allowing you to say this?
Yeah. Oh
like,
man.
Like, I was doing a show in Virginia, I believe it was Virginia Championship Wrestling, BCW, and this kid every match was just saying like, "Oh, you like snaggletooth like monkey" and things like this. Guys, he was yelling this at a black wrestler. And I am just like, what's crazy is that the kid was also black, and I'm just like, I just don't understand, like, whose child is this? Like, how is? And it was every match.
Excuse me, sir. Like,
and I'm like, as a referee, like, I know, like, there are times there's shoot, but I'm like, I like as a referee, like, when you hear things like that, like, do you like let it slide, or when is the line to be like, yo, like, look, I know there's some shows I hear, and like fans will just yell out queer and will say like call people like fags and everything, and I'm because they're wearing skinny pants, and I'm just like to a point, I'm just like, when do you just like kind of take off the ref shirt and be like, yo, dude, like relax, Like,
My favorite is when the wrestlers have something funny or intelligent to throw it back in that kid's court. That's how I know I'm working with
Yep.
entertainer. When they can take it and flip it and make it something else that makes that person feel dumb. I'm like, yeah, it's you. Like, that's my favorite.
Right.
Hey, so I got a funny one. So when I was doing a match last year, the one of the guys in the ring, he was cheating, blatantly cheating, right? So everybody in the crowd was just like hounded me for not seeing it. I mean, I was doing my best not to see it, but it was literally there the whole time. He had a foreign object, and the other wrestler's girlfriend was in the crowd. And like, you should know that this stuff is what it is. Like, calm down, lady. Like, she blatantly was getting into my case, like ringside, and she blurted out, like, "Hey, you stupid MF, he's cheating." And the wrestlers, which is her boyfriend, he turned around, he's like, "Hey, lady, you can't be saying stuff like that." Like mid-match. Like, I tried my best not to like break character, but it was so hard. Like,
that's
oh
hard. not
god,
break character
yeah,
at times,
yeah,
especially
yeah, yeah.
You have the right entertainers in there. Like, there's so many times I literally have to like move away and look down and not to see my laughter.
Well, and that's the thing too, getting so excited as a fan too in the ring and spots. It's hard not to smile. You know what I'm saying? You try not to smile or like get giddy about some of the stuff you're a part of, and it's hard not to. It really isn't.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna catch up with somebody's comments. Kylan said he should be on in 20 to 30. That was about 15 minutes ago. Dalton Brown said, "I'm that fan." Oh shit, yeah.
Which fan is he? Is he the one yelling slurs, or is he the one telling you?
No, he's the one. He's the one telling you slow count and stuff like
Okay.
that. This is from the very beginning of that. Luke Fury chimed in, the young legend himself. My people, what's up, family? What's up, Luke?
Yeah, what's up, Luke? How we doing, player?
What up, Luke?
I had a good match the other day.
Dalton. Oh yes, I heard all about it, Cooper, because the next day, he rode with me to XWW in Monroe from here. I went and picked him up, and we went to Monroe, dude. We gonna have to talk after the show. And Cooper, I need an interview, Dick. That's all. I need an interview.
Message me.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll put it on the schedule if you send it to me.
Okay. We'll figure out when. I mean, most Thursdays are good. All of them.
My message.
Let's see here. Dalton said, "Lord, I bet these refs hate me." Probably. I mean, everybody hates you anyway, but I'm joking. I'm joking.
Shots fired.
No. Let's see. Bill Hazelwood chimed in, "Slow count and you're blind are actually compliments for a ref. Being ignored is much worse." That is accurate.
Bill Hazelwood. That's
true.
what I needed. I appreciate you, man. That's what I needed to hear. I
Yep.
love it.
Let's see here. The match could not happen without a ref. The ref is just as important as a wrestler. We'll
Absolutely.
go with that.
Mundo.
Tiffany Childers said, "Hey guys." Hey Tiff.
Hey, Tiffany.
Wish it.
Let's see here. How many blind people can you have on your show, Saint? I mean, I don't know of any blind referees. I know there's a deaf ref, and I've got a story about a deaf ref that I will tell because he got destroyed one night by the workers, and I got pissed, and then I knew how to fix it the next time I saw him. It was great. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Tim Godfrey, you got to think of the history between Flair and Little Nate. Yep. That helped that match.
Yeah.
Ian makes me think I'm in the 80s when he talks, which I like.
Hey, that's me, guys. Look at that. I love you.
So that must mean some of the things you say are offensive, and that's why Jimmy likes it. There we go. It's realistic.
Trouble
It's
now.
realistic. It's realistic.
Trouble
It's
now.
good.
HR.
Yep. I don't have one of those. Kay Holiday is the best at turning thing around on fans. That's
Yes.
up there. He's up there. He is really up there.
All the White Claw Outlaws are.
Yeah, all the White Claw
Yeah.
Outlaws can absolutely have that set for them.
Yep. Let's see. Hashtag truth. I agree that a wrestling show is everyone combined, refs, announcers, commentators, managers, and wrestlers. When all give 100%, a show pops. That's good. All you had to do was watch my videos of that one. Yeah, I don't know which one that was. Was that the one at Jimmy Ward's show? Because that was funny as hell. That kid needs to give me $20. I'm not getting in this damn ring. That was hilarious.
Did he get the $20?
No,
Oh.
no,
Thank
not
you,
offenses.
Jimmy.
Oh, the
Thank you,
lingo
Jimmy.
he uses.
That's what I
There you
needed.
go.
I didn't even find that
Okay.
on fire.
Oh, Coop and Fury. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. Dude, I saw highlights from that match with Coop and Fury. But look, get this. So there's a deaf ref. I think his name is Darius, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked around him before. We were at a shit show, and I'm going to call it a shit show because we were in
Actual shit.
no, yeah, a really shitty town. What's that? Lawrence or Clinton? We were over that way, and this place is a dump. Anyway, I mean, like, you better get your shots before you go there, and I don't mean COVID. I mean like penicillin. It's just
Is
nasty.
that the one you tried to get me on?
Maybe. No, not Saluda. Not Saluda. It wasn't Saluda. It was definitely Lawrence Clinton. Maybe. Hey, look, when you're just taking a payday like I do on occasion, I just want the extra cash. I could give a fuck less. But on shit shows, I add more to my rate. That's the trick of the trade. On shit shows, you got to get paid more for the shit show. That's like cardinal rule number one. I don't work for free to begin with, but if I got to work a really bad show, I'm going to get paid a whole lot more money. Anyway, so what happened was they didn't tell the ref, who is deaf, what the spot was in a way that he could understand it. So in the middle of the damn match, the ref looks over, signals ring the bell, the guy rings the bell, and I'm looking at the ref and he goes, disqualification. And I'm like, all right, who won? He goes, he picks up this guy's hand on the ground. This dude's on the ground. He picks up his hand. He goes, winner. I'm like, okay, so your winner's this guy. The worker who got disqualified was so freaking pissed. He started kicking the other dude, shoved him out of the ring, kicked the ropes, pissed off, stormed off. I swear to Christ, I thought he was going to knock shit over.
Oh my god.
I was like, bro, after about 10 minutes, I went and found him in the parking lot. I said, sir, let me ask you a question. How did you explain to that motherfucker what was supposed to happen? He said, well, we told him. I said, bitch, he's deaf. Did you write it the fuck down or what? He goes, nope. I'm like, oh my God. So I worked with him a week or two later, Darius. When I knew what matches he had, we went right over and made sure everything was handled. You pick it up what I'm putting down. I don't need to break too many walls here tonight. We already broke some. But, I mean, like, a pen and a piece of paper goes a long way when you want to educate people or tell them what the hell they're supposed to do. Kids don't learn in school without it.
So have y'all seen him referee at all ever? Darius?
He is fantastic.
He's amazing. So I seen him Saturday night, and I guess I'll be working with him some when I'm up at ACCW. He floored me. I knew he was deaf beforehand, but man, the way that he works in that ring, he outworks some like most other refs. I mean, he is amazing. The way he counts to his fives, his 3 count, and the way he's authoritative in the ring is just, it's amazing. It really is. He's a good dude.
The thing that stuck out to me was how he leaped the workers. Like he will stand up and sideways leap your ass to get into a better position.
Yeah, he will. He's really good with his positioning. I mean, like, amazing with his positioning.
Yo, man, I wish I had paparazzi around. Dang, man. Like, I was. Man, he's
It's my only one.
More.
It's my only one.
Just come by and do the
Another one. Yo, hashtag blessed.
That's why, listen, do you see this? That's why I shoved a chair into the door so nobody could open that door. I barricade myself in this office to conduct my business.
Well, I'm in the kitchen with my food, so all right.
And your
Yeah, you're good. But that wasn't Saluda. You saw what happened at Saluda. Everybody saw Saluda live on air. Oh, it's this. Let's remember one of our fellow brothers, Kevin Pierce. He got
Oh.
diagnosed with stage 4 cancer recently. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yes.
I
Mm.
found that out at Deadlock on
He's got a GoFundMe page.
Saturday night because he's like the head of ref there. That man that dude's been a mentor to me in so many ways in the short amount of time I've been there.
Kylan, do me a favor. Go get the link for his GoFundMe and post it in the comments section, please. I want that done. I want that done. Go do that for me. Man, but
Today.
there's... Oh, there you are.
Hey,
You're
she's
good.
back.
My phone was doing weird things. I'm very sorry. I think Cooper went to get a charger for me.
There you go. So, I know Timmy's been doing this a while. I know Travis just started last year. But I don't know how long Katrina's been doing it or Ian's been doing it. So while we're on this point, what we'll do is this. We'll go around the room and everybody talks about how long and, what trainers or where they've worked and, things like that.
There goes one.
I don't care. Pick one. Whichever one of you opens your pie hole first.
I'll
So-
do it.
Oh, Katrina, go for it, man. Go for it.
Hold on, wait. Let me see if my phone's charged. I lied. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Someone else do it.
All right. So until we figure out your phone, I guess I'll go first. So for those listening, this is Shelby Bruce. And I started my ref journey in 2021 in Greenville, South Carolina.
Mm.
2021 in Greenville, South Carolina. And like without going too far down that little rabbit hole, where I was trained, it felt more of just watching the wrestlers do their thing, and I'll do a match that lasts 20 minutes of the training session. Most times kind of hanging out there, and most of what I learned was from watching WWE, AEW, NWA, Major League Wrestling, and then once I was given the high sign, I think you're good enough to go out and start doing matches, I learned how to do anything by after each match going to the wrestlers and the promoters and bookers going, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What should I not do? What should I do more of? And that's just how I learn. And I noticed that with other senior referees, if they see that you are actually taking in what they say and they see that you're doing what they told you to do, they'll be more receptive and they will definitely continue helping you out. So I've only been actually reffing since 2000 early 2022. So guys, I'm just going in there, seeing what happens.
So I started reffing based on happenstance. I was training to be a wrestler with Bob Keller, and I still
Bobby.
wrestle as well. At this point, I now wrestle, ring announce, and ref. And I would like to get more experience, and I'm trying to set it up for me to get experience on commentary as well, just to really be the Bob Keller super kid, to be able to have a little hand in everything. But I started reffing because I went ahead and got my South Carolina license in 2021 when I started, because I'm super big on being prepared if an opportunity comes your way. And when we started with Bob, I think I was 3 months in maybe when I got my license for the year. And then it just happened to be that one of the shows, they didn't have a ref who was able to come and book. And Bob was like, I think it will help you with your vocals and your positioning and your ring work, and all that stuff is transferable to wrestling. Would you be okay learning to ref? And again, just wanting to learn as many areas of the business from the get. I've been very vocal about wanting to learn as much as possible. And so I think August of 2021 is when I started. And from there, just when I'd be in the car, if they needed a ref, and we'd be at a show, I just continued to get reps from there, starting with WrestleForce and kind of going forward. Jared Fritz also is a Keller kid for NWA ref.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good guy.
he is a really solid person. But
Agree
also
with him.
just like crazy, stupid athletic. He also trained to wrestle at one point, which I don't know if a lot of people realize, but he wrestled and ref for about a year. But he also has been super helpful and instrumental in like helping train and like help me progress as a referee and also as a wrestler. A lot of people don't realize just how amazing and intelligent and just knowledgeable he is about the psychology of the business. But from there, it's just kind of been like Shelby was saying, I think it's one of those things where just as you continue to be open to feedback, if you want to learn, if you want to be better, I've gotten advice from Skylar and George and other people who are able to see that I want to learn and I want to be better and that I want that feedback. I think there's a lot of people in the business who will say they want it, and then if you tell them anything other than they had a great match, they will get upset and try to justify things and explain it. And so I think when you show like, oh, okay, yeah, like I hear what you're saying. People are far more giving and being able to like feed into your career and what you're doing. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those things that happened, and I'm very lucky and fortunate to have some really awesome people help me get better, and I've just been kind of doing it ever since.
Rock on.
I guess
Go
I'm
ahead,
the
Tim.
old guy in the group.
Well, kind of, because hey,
He just joined. Good. Yes. So now I'm not the only old guy in the group.
Kylan has joined. Hey, Kylan, turn that sideways so you have a better picture.
Yeah,
And then stick it straight up your candy. Oh, I'm sorry.
Unlock your screen.
Oh my
Kylan.
God, you can tell he's a geriatric. You gotta unlock your screen, genius. Do you know how to look? All right, so on the iPhone
Drop
gimmick,
down.
Don't
you,
be
you,
mean to my
you
friend.
pull from the top down. Look, you pull from the top down like that. Dude, my phone actually displayed really well on here. And then there's this lock thing right there. That's what you gotta hit. Look at you
Hey!
go, Peaches. You can follow
Yay!
directions. I am
Well,
impressed.
Rest-
Welcome to
Welcome
the
in,
show.
Colin. So, I
Go
got
ahead,
my
Tim.
start back in 2010, 2011 range. I really started messing around in the business back in the old APW 221 area. I would mess around, got to know a lot of the people there. I didn't really get my start into reffing until 2010 and 2011. And I started out trying to train as a wrestler. Well, I ended up getting injured, and so to curb all that, I just decided to ref. And lo and behold, I found out that was going to be my calling. So I started there, and I got trained by God rest his soul, Dash Riprock, Buckshot, the legend. Oh yeah, great people. All of them trained me. Bobby Diamond. A lot of people had a hand in training me, and did a lot of shows up in North Carolina. That's where I did most of my work when I was starting out. Was North Carolina. I was refereeing in Rutherford before I came back to South Carolina and started getting my license and got a lot more shows around here. So
Gotcha.
I'm the old guy.
Kylan,
Yes, sir.
time for you to
What
chime
are you
in.
doing, Kylan? What are you just?
I'm trying to be quiet because I just put the kid to sleep.
Well,
We'll go outside.
I ain't
put
doing all
headphones
that.
on because we ran
Well-
bucks here.
So you wrote it in the comments section. You know, you started in 2009 and you were trained by Wicked.
Yep. Wicked was he was in the ECW when it started up. His real name was David Reimer. He's been deceased probably about 6 years now.
hmm
SWA was my home. That's where I honed my craft, and then went on to other places and honed my craft. And I took a couple of years off because of personal reasons. And as Tim was saying, Buckshot, he I ran a show in 2019, and he said, "Hey brother," he said, "you still got it. You need to give it one more run." And I was just like, "Man, I don't know." I was like, not as young as I once was. I'm not in shape like I once was. And once you get bit by the bug, it's kind of hard to get away from the business.
Uh,
What you put in till it's what you get out of it.
Yeah, I fully understand. I know something about that show in 2019.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody being a part of it.
Yeah, it was the
Maybe-
very first indie show I was ever a part of.
I was
this
there.
is how you get. This is how you get Ron.
And
Without
now
me,
look
there
at
would be
it.
no Ron.
Yeah, yep. If it wasn't for Colin Disney, there wouldn't be a me. Yep,
You heard that?
that's-
It's official.
That's accurate. So you all can punch him the next time you see him for having to deal with my ass every time we workshop.
We are going to crop out that audio, and that's going to be,
Right.
Kylan's ringtone now. Like, without him, there was no me. And
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah.
Ah,
Dude, I wonder if I have to give him like percentage of my merch sales and shit. Like, I don't know. How does that work?
well, he ain't your manager.
Ron, I'm just glad that you got.
Right?
I'm just glad you got good refs on here. I can say I've been blessed to work with all the refs that's on here, and I've really enjoyed my time. I know,
Oh,
I'm going to be biased, and guys, you just have to get over it. But Katrina is by far one of my favorites to work with. I say a
I
bright
don't
future.
take offense to that.
I see a bright future for Katrina. She's willing to learn, and she's wanting to better the craft. And plus, she's got Bob Keller as her trainer. If you're not a Keller guy or hadn't had experience with Bob, you're missing out. Because I'm telling you, he's a real deal. And if you're willing to listen and shut up, he'll take you under his wing and show you everything and anything that he knows. And he's helped me out a lot in this business. There's a couple other guys as well, but it's an honor to be able to say that I've been able to work with all you guys in here. And who knows, this might be the last rodeo for me down the road. But if it is, I want y'all to know I've enjoyed the ride, and it's been a good ride.
Yo, man, I remember the first time we met. You and Tim, guys, for all those who don't know, seriously, I was at, at AWL, I Facebook Jimmy Ward. I'm like, hey, you don't need to pay me. Just give me a shot. All right. And he goes, sure. Like, here's a match. Like, we go in there. I'm like, so, Jimmy, you're listening. Thank you so much. Like, seriously, I wish I could just hug you. But I go in there, and Tim sees me, and he goes, and he just sees me walk around, and he goes, yo, come here. Sit down. Don't look at me. And I think at one point he starts to he whispers in my ear, like, so what's going on? I'm like, yo, man, I really don't know. I'm just here hoping for a shot and a chance. And I think kind of might even start massaging me. I don't know what was going on. But they're just doing all
Yep.
whatever. And they're just doing all these things. And I'm like, if this is some weird initiation, I'm down, I'll let it slide.
Yay, consent.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
But so that always be a memory from you two guys. It's like you guys didn't know me from Adam, and you're like, let's see if this kid can hang. I think I passed. But
Well,
You did.
this is how I operate, and if anybody feels differently, you can tell me. But once you wear the zebra stripes, you're a part of the family. And my trainer, he always told me, he said, you take care of your family, and we might not be blood, but y'all are considered family to me.
and not only do we have matching outfits, we will have matching bags as well.
Just we. I didn't get the bag.
Yeah, because Disney and I have the exact same bag that we put all our ref gear in.
Travis, we
They
didn't.
really do, and I can attest to that. It is crazy.
I had to buy my own. I didn't get none.
But yeah, no, I had to, we bought our own. It's just we happened to buy the same.
That wasn't
Same
even
bag.
coming out in my generation there, Travis. So you're good.
Is it the Nike bag?
I was that that gray bag with
Oh yeah, Walmart bag.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Walmart bag. Well, now I know where my sister-in-law got it from. And put my name on it. So.
Travis
Yeah, I
gets to tell his story just as a reminder.
Yes, I know. Go ahead, Travis. It's on you now.
Yeah, man, I'm the baby. You don't want to hear my story. I'm the baby that's kicking. I'm the baby that's kicking and screaming, causing everybody issues.
Enlighten us. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Enlighten the rest of them, not me.
Oh,
Because
yeah, I think
already know.
everybody knows my
Come on,
story pretty
rookie.
much on here. That's right. I mean, I started in September of last year, and mine was kind of like happenstance too. I just kind of like fell into it, and I fell into it the way most don't like. I kind of just fell into it from helping set up and tear down, and was just given the opportunity to get in there to referee. So I did, and I fell in love with it ever since. I mean, I've always been into wrestling my whole life, and I mean, it's something I really like, but I know that I catch a lot of crap, and I'm going to, um, I'm learning on the fly pretty much because I don't have any training. I just kind of got in there, and I've been doing it just from what I've seen on TV and just what I know myself. So, I've took advice. As a matter of fact, Katrina could tell you she was the first person after the first night I refereed. I asked her to tell me what she thought, and if I didn't have a book written of all sorts of advice and critiques and criticism, it was a lot. It was a lot, but I take that kind of stuff. I don't want everybody to think that like I talk junk and I don't take the criticism and the critiquing and stuff. I take everything because I'm humble, very, very humble. If you know me, you know my reasons for even doing any of this, and I'm humble as can be and thankful and grateful. But I am going to start like actually training and like take the steps to better myself as far as being more professional and doing the stuff that I need to do. So I'm gonna start going and training with AJ Frost down at APW and training with them. And whenever I know George is supposed to be there on occasion, so I'm gonna be there when he's there and training with them and stuff. So, so I've been doing
Good
it for
man,
what,
good man.
Get that card you
7?
want, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, believe me, I know.
I would like to defend that my book was out of love.
I know it was.
Don't ask Katrina Kreis for advice and or feedback if you don't want all of the advice and or feedback.
And the bad thing was it was the first match, and like the first match I ever had. I asked her, and man, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It
But
was
you can
a
keep
lot.
that and look at it later, and as you can
Oh
do
yeah.
reps, you can be like,
Oh yeah.
that makes sense now.
Right.
Got it.
But here's my
So
thing.
let me
If
just tell you something. Go ahead.
go ahead, Tim. Go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say, let me just tell you this from the old grizzled veteran like me, and Colin will probably agree to all this. Yeah, you will. Anyway, even though I've been doing this a while, I still learn something new almost every single show. I mean, there's always something that I know I can do different and better myself with, and it helps me out in the later shows. So, if I can give you any advice, always keep an open mind. Even when you become an old grizzled veteran, still keep that open mind because you're always going to learn. There's always going to be something new. The business is always changing.
You know,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I also I see where you're coming from too, Travis, and like I very much try to have a humble heart. I was talking to Disney about this at the show we were at this past weekend. I will take it as much as I dish it. Like anytime anybody gives me any sort of like ask for critique or anything like that, I'll give it to him. But even with him and Harkey, like I'll tell him like, hey, if you see anything, if I'm not practicing what I'm preaching, call me out. Like I can't get better at what I do if I don't have people around me who are willing to do the same. And I think the best thing that probably ever happened to me in this business was I think within the first 2 months of us training, John Schuyler had given me some sort of advice, and I thanked him for it. And he goes, I think at that point he was in the business for like 13 years, and he was like, I don't know nothing. I'm just whatever. And he had just started doing some stuff with Impact. And it really just kind of struck me if John Schuyler's been doing this for 13 years and is put over by a lot of people and is at contract level and he doesn't know anything, then God, I definitely don't know anything. And I think that like having that, like Tim said, like eager heart and just always being willing to accept that like every time you go in the ring, you learn something different. I think that is what allows people to have longevity in this business, not because they're perfect, but because it keeps them like that happy child in the ring who's loving it and
Yeah.
learning, and
Mhm.
you don't get complacent. I think that's also where people kind of fade away, is where they're unhappy with like getting feedback. I think that's when you kind of know to call it quits.
Yeah.
No, it's not a beer.
It doesn't matter.
I heard it.
It's
Hey, Travis.
LaCroix.
If you're
Travis.
going to drink on this show, I'm going to need a minute, and I'll join you in drinking on this show.
Don't tempt me. It's right there.
Mine's in the other room, and I have to go to the freezer. But anyway, I'm going to tell y'all something about Tim Godfrey. There was a show that we were working, and neither one of us were doing what you know us for. So Tim was not refereeing. He was the ring bell
Ding, ding.
guy,
Yes.
and I was not ring announcing.
You were the
I
ring
was the sound guy. So I'm sitting there with Tim, and I'm like, hey, man, do me a favor. While we're watching this shit, just lay everything out like what I should know from your perspective. And this fucker talked my ear off for the next 2.5 hours. But I sat there and learned what he was saying. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, so that's cadence. That's timing. That's the, yeah, he's out of position. By the end of the night, that dumbass is out of position. What's he doing? And then Tim go, I don't know. I thought I taught him better than that, even though he trained me. It was funny
Kyler.
as hell. It was. It was. Kyler was out of position on something. It was. I don't remember all of it, but it was hilarious. Sitting there with Tim, listening to the breakdown of the show. So that's why, like, you know, Travis, this past weekend you had to take a break because you pulled a muscle inside your chest, and you
Yeah.
can't, you know, that hurts. I get it.
Yeah, you can't work with that.
If you
No,
were to be sitting,
yeah.
if you were to be sitting next to another ref in the crowd, imagine the amount of thought that would have gone back and forth between the two of you watching the show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm watching the show this weekend. Right. Well, watching the show this weekend, I was like that, watching the referees in the ring. It makes me so mad because it's like, like I'll be seeing all the stuff that I'm like, even this soon, you know, me being this young and being, you know, new to it, I could still already be like, they could need to be doing that better.
Do y'all have
Travis.
like ref pet peeves? Like things, because everybody, like, there's a general sense of like X, Y, and Z that we do, but
Is that a check? Are you trying to give me money, Kylan?
No, it's my talk card. It's my trump card.
He said he's got a tote card.
It's the magic conch.
oh my gosh.
Go ahead, Disney.
I like this. I'm gonna start using this as a gimmick.
Oh God.
Travis, before I forget, what I was gonna say is,
Yes, sir.
so how long you been in? Since September, you said?
Yep.
So Earl Hebner is one of the best referees to ever walk the face of the earth, correct?
I agree.
So I remember I got to meet him, and so I said, hey man, I said, I've been in the business for a year as a referee. I said, do you have any advice? Guess what he told me? Take a
What?
guess.
Man, I ain't no telling coming from him.
He's not that bad outside of the ring, I promise.
He said, this is what he said. I remember it like yesterday. He said, get out as soon as you got in. You talking about hurting somebody's way they felt about the business. I was like, I don't remember who said it, but somebody just said, you know, if you're disgruntled, it's time to get out. And
Right.
it made me look at Earl Hebner in a different way.
This was at the end of his career, by the way.
I think for me, it's not it's not being disgruntled and it's not me causing and ruffling feathers so much as if I just focused on what I'm supposed to be doing as far as learning and the business itself and not getting involved in politics and all the backstage stuff, then it would be an issue for me. But I'm just getting involved in all that stuff constantly, and that's what it causes a lot of the stress and aggravation and stuff that I don't need to be involved in at all.
Yeah,
I need to be just straight focused on what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I'm aware that you get involved in that stuff. You owe me my next month's supply of Just for Men. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you
This
have
Hey.
a talking stick.
The best advice I can give you, Travis, and any of you other guys can chime in, and most of these guys will vouch for me. This is what I do, man. When I get to the venue, if of course, set up the ring. Charles Robertson, he still sets up the ring and still takes it down. Second thing is give respect, shake everybody's hand in the back. That's a big thing. And the third thing is what I do, and Gail can vouch for this because we was at a show together. I was in a
Who's
corner.
Gail?
Oh crap, Katrina. Katrina can vouch for this. I was just in a corner by myself, minding my own business.
Oh, this weekend?
hmm
Yeah. The most you and I got into was just talking about my water bottle. I was like, super excited about.
Is it a Stanley water bottle?
No, it's an Arab water bottle, which apparently is on TikTok, but I'm 100 years old and I lost so much time on Vine. So I refuse to get on TikTok. But one of my favorite YouTubers promoted it, and it has like science involved in it, and I was super pumped about it, and I needed to tell everybody. It was great. My master's is in nutrition, by the way, so anything food or health related, I get very enthusiastic about.
Can't wait to hear about the new diet fad. Tell me how.
She's about to tell me how fattening I'm eating right now. My daggum tater tots and chicken.
I'm gonna catch up on comments and then we'll go into something
Let's
next.
do it, man. We can talk
Hey,
all day
I
about
still
nutrition.
want referee annoyance. It is whenever we
Okay.
get
Okay. After comments, referee annoying shit. Got it.
Yeah.
The one thing that amazes me about referees in wrestling, they have to be on their toes at all time, or they will be in the way of the action. That comment came from one of our viewers, Shane Odom.
No matter how many times you want to be in the corner, wrestlers always end up there, no matter what.
Right. Yep.
Scott Larson chimed in. He said, "I started couch reffing at age 10. I have couch reffed every show I've ever watched. I should be in the couch reffing Hall of Fame."
I love that.
I was a couch drummer.
Ghazi chimed in. He said, "What's up, nerds?"
Thank you.
Yo, Stephen King nerd all day. Let's talk.
I mean, I prefer the old school nerds, not the gummy nerds. I don't know if that makes a difference to y'all.
Wow,
but-
wordplay. I love it.
And then Bill Hazelwood said, "Watch Bill. Bill shows up, fucks with everybody, gets in the ring and ring announces, gets paid and leaves. Be more like Bill."
Wait, Bill gets paid? Wow.
Y'all get paid for this? Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, everybody loves Bill Hazelwood. I owe a lot to him as well for kind of smartening me up and educating me on how I should be conducting myself. Him, one of the most off the wall people ever that you would ever think had a hand in mine, was Rage Davidson. Of all people, Rage Davidson is that guy. Rage is one of those people to me. I give him a lot of credit because one show he parked. Tim, you remember the show? Kyle and you do too. He parked dead behind the curtain and waited. And every time I walked out, he said something. Every time I walked back in, he'd say something else. And it was every time in and out of that ring for the entire night. Rage was there. Adjust. And I'm like, yes, sir.
He's another one that had a hand in my training back in the day, and he's one of the ones that I was doing a lot of shows with up in North Carolina and Rutherford. Him and Matt Burns.
He said more money on one show than you get paid in 5.
God dang it.
I can't wait.
Well,
Be like Bill.
It just depends. I guess it just depends because he's gonna pick like his highest paid show. Then yeah, he's probably right.
Yeah.
He's probably right.
Does that mean he's doing shit shows too? Is that
Yes.
what you're getting at
Oh no, he
Yes.
definitely does shit shows too. Don't let anybody fool you. He
That's
definitely
probably
does shit shows too.
Paid event too.
I have
Because-
physically seen him at one because I've been at one with him.
I have legitimately turned down a show and he picked it up, and I'm like, fucking A, right? You have fun, brother, because I ain't going. I am not doing this shit. Yes, Kylan.
Let me tell you about Hazelwood. Hazelwood
Okay.
might act like he's a tough dude, which he is if you get on his bad side. But he's also one of the nicest guys that you can ever meet. And I know Ron knows what I'm talking about, but he's got a big heart when it comes to the right causes and the right things.
Yes. Bill said, I've done shit shows but never got shit money. Well, that's fair.
He knows how it does it.
Oh,
doesn't sound
I'm
right.
aware. Oh, Lord. All right, so Katrina brought up referee annoyances. So you had already said about the fans acting up. What
Yeah,
else
but
is there?
Things that other referees do, because like everybody has their own style, and so like we generally will do the same
Okay.
thing, but we don't. There's going to be little things that we do differently or that we see differently psychology wise or whatever. So there are certain things that I'll see a referee do and it will irritate me, not because I like have any particular beef with that person, but because it's not my particular style. If that makes sense.
I got
I'm gonna
you.
probably step on
I
toes.
hate with all of my heart and soul when I see refs grab the rope. Unless you're about to fall and break your neck and bust your butt, why?
Hey,
Like
I'm fat.
it just
Okay.
irritates me. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just like it hits my soul different. I don't.
Kyle, this is like, yo, Katrina, like, why?
This is not me
Why?
trying to like call
Babe.
you out. I would have
Yep.
at your social media so you could get a follower out of it if that's what.
Nah, she just did it
Well-
verbally. She verbally
Well, I mean,
added you.
both of them are older and out of shape in comparison.
Again, I'm not crapping on you. I'm just saying that's something that gets to me personally. It triggers me in a way that I cannot explain. It's like when people crunch really loud. Like it hits me different. I don't know. It's okay. I'm sure I probably do things that annoy the crap out of other people too, so it's fine. Go ahead, Kylan. Preach.
Biggest pet peeve of mine is I hate when a referee's not dressed like a referee.
Now, what does that mean to you? Because I know this has a lot of like, what does that mean to you?
Well, a referee should have unwrinkled referee shirt, unwrinkled black pants,
Dress pants.
dress pants. Thank you.
I was about to say, please say dress pants.
Because
Black
if you say joggers or like a fucking leggings or something,
Black socks.
You've lost me.
Black shoes, black tennis shoes, and black belt. Look the part, play the part, be the part.
So I definitely agree with that one in the sense of dressing in uniform. Because there are so many times I'm like, okay, things are looking okay, and then their shoes are like like the thick like DCs or the thick skater shoes, and that just does not look right to me, and it kind of bothers me. With me, another one is when referees don't hit the mat hard enough. I'm definitely a child who grew up in a household where 80s glam metal was very popular. So I love the gigantic booms of bass drums and just giant over the top sounds. So when a referee just gives me a little like tap on a mat, I'm like, come on, man, let's give these people a show. Like I want the deep thud for when it comes to things like that.
Right.
So, yeah, that's just me, man.
I guess my biggest pet peeve would be when they're in the corner and they're counting and they get to 4 and they're just tapping them on the shoulder, Hey, get off of him, get off of him. Hey.
Yeah.
Mother, get in there and break them up, would you?
Right.
Like, don't just lightly do it. What's that gonna do? Woo-hoo.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I mean, we're not. We
Excuse me.
didn't do this to be proper. We did this to get into the show, and that's part of the show. You've got to take them apart. That's part of it. Don't just tap them on the shoulder. Excuse me, you're not supposed to do that.
That was a lesson I was taught very quickly after a tag team, and because of that, I was in tag team matches for like 3 months because they're like learn your shit so then you can move on from this.
Oh.
God,
You haven't even let Travis say anything,
I
but
know,
you
right?
put up your talking stick.
Go ahead, Travis.
You're muted.
You're
Your
muted,
mic's
bro.
not working.
Your mic's not working. Oh man.
Okay, Kylan, you go ahead.
Travis is broke.
I hate when a ref will not let a heel tag team be heels.
Oh God.
Explain. English teacher in me. Explain.
So the heels are supposed to be able to cheat, but you ain't supposed to see it.
Mhm.
And they're supposed to be able to tag. And, you let them tag. I remember I was at one event, it's been years ago, and this ref, I cringed thinking about it. Like, he
He's
wouldn't let
adding
'em-
you now, Katrina. Hope you know that. He's adding you now.
He,
yes, and no. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
he said
all,
he.
We all grow. We all learn.
He
Okay.
said
Pronouns.
he.
Just pronouns.
He said he.
Other but pronouns.
So don't out yourself when he said he. Because you're not a he. You're a she.
oh, God,
First of
I
all, it's
cringed.
2023. You don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
And then they told me who they got trained by, and I said, well, that makes sense.
Wouldn't it be funny if he's
We're
talking about
trying to
me the
say,
entire
Colin.
time?
Who'd they get trained
Travis.
by?
Travis, here's your talking card.
You're talking card.
It's still not working.
It's the disrespect of those headphones for me. They're just not letting him talk, and it's rude.
All
Poor
right,
Travis.
who wants the talking card?
He wants.
Unplug them and plug them back in.
All right, Shelby, you got the talking card.
For me, man, I could talk all night. Man, what do you guys want to know? But
Well, we already know that.
yeah, we already know that. Yeah, what's up, guys? What's up?
Is that working?
There we go.
Yeah, that worked.
Hey,
There
I
we
threw
go.
him out and brought him back in.
Yeah,
Mazel
dude,
tov.
you,
It
just
didn't work.
saved viewership, man. Let's hear your voice now.
Here's your talking card.
What's your pet peeve?
I don't know that I can say that I have a pet peeve because I'm so new, man. Like I guess mine would be exactly what I need to take my own medicine as is just be more authoritative. Like seeing referees not be authoritative in the ring and being the law, which is pretty much what I can constantly hear I need to do myself. So because I do.
That's like when you see a ref. Like I see a lot of refs that'll do it. Like their urgency is not there.
Right.
You watch like other referees, and that's something that I definitely still work on myself. But there'll be some refs where, like, if they're on the outside, they'll be like, "Come on, guys, get back in the ring." Like they could care less whether they come back in.
You know,
Yeah,
I've actually
that-
went outside the ring to get them before.
I mean, I'd rather
Really?
that from like an urgency perspective, or even just being like, "Come on, guys, seriously, get back in the ring." Like that energy, to me, like if the wrestlers are bringing all this energy up here and your energy's down here, to me that can ruin a match. Where
Yeah.
like if the referee in their own way is bringing that same urgency and energy, I think that's also kind of what Shelby was saying earlier about like making a good match. Like I think that in itself can contribute so much to a story if the ref is thoroughly and intentionally doing their part.
And when I say I went out there to get them, I didn't mean I went out there and got them back in the ring right at that moment. I told them, I said, I'm gonna get back in the ring. I'm gonna start my count. If you're not back in by the count of 10, I'm counting you both out. Period. End of story. Because at this point in time, they had already broke the count like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, this is enough. Enough's
Right.
enough. We got to get back in the ring. You can
Yeah.
only do so much outside the ring, and it wasn't a no disqualification match. It wasn't a no count out match. It was a regular match. If you want to go out, go out, come back in, then go back out, then come back
Yeah.
in. That kind of situation. Don't spend 10 minutes outside the ring, because it just doesn't make no sense. It's pointless at that point, because what's the ref to do at that point? Because you
Right.
should have been counted out a long time ago.
Well,
I think for me, it's like the chemistry you have too with the talent as well. Because like with me, I'm not so authoritative with some than I am with others, and that's just because I know them well enough to be comfortable and be stern with them. It takes, unfortunately, it takes for me after a match for someone to be like, you need to be on my ass a lot more than what you were. Like, all right, now I know. But like with some guys, it's like I know to get in their face. I know to, hard count, be stern, be very like lawful with them. And then some guys that I've never worked with, it's hard for me to be that way just because I'm not comfortable and don't have that chemistry with them. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I definitely had a wrestler named Scott Mason down in Georgia. He was in the tag team, and when we got back from the ring, the first thing he said is, "You need to yell at me more and get
Yep.
me off that person. When
Yep.
it is 4, you grab me and pull me away. That's what you do." And then Jeremy Vane, the promoter at APW in Georgia, said the exact same thing. And I'm like, all right, now I got
Yep.
you. But also with that, Travis, that's one thing that I actually really enjoy about the promotions that have like the same wrestlers in every
Yep.
show, and not like some
Mhm.
promotions that have like a different one every single time, which is totally fine. That's the show. But if you end up, seeing the same people at every show and reffing the same matches, you get to know like what can you say, what can you do,
Yep.
what are their signs. It just makes the flows better. Like I can go into a match blind with Luka Daniels any single time, and I will know exactly what to do and how he wants it without he would never have to tell me, because I've done
Right.
so much stuff with him.
Yeah, that's me with like AJ. I'm the same way with Frost. Like when me and him are in the ring together, like I drill his ass constantly, and like I am in him so much with the way he acts, and I'm always on him constantly. But that's just because like you said, it's working those same promotions. If I want to work all these different promotions just because I want to say I got that experience, but then when I'm at these promotions, I don't know all this talent. And I'm like, man, I really wish I was kind of elsewhere because I know these guys and I know how I'm going to be in the ring with these guys. So, I get it.
I have the most fun when I'm getting to yell at Cooper for being a bad guy. It's the best. For
That's
anybody who
hilarious.
doesn't know, Cooper is my fiance, and I
Wow, there goes the kid.
Congratulations.
And y'all had you remember the
I
heel
remember
turn
his
referee at
show.
his?
Yeah. No, I
That
remember
was
it.
hilarious.
And then they were like,
That lasted all of a day.
yeah, that lasted a whole day. But you know what?
Oh, so did that
I do what
company.
I'm told, and it's fine.
They're coming back
And
Yeah, they
I
are
was about to say,
coming
they're
back.
coming back.
Yeah, I heard.
under new management. I'm actually really excited about the management, if we're being honest.
Whoop, whoop.
It's going to be, yeah,
Who's
it's
over
the
it?
same guys from the North Carolina show plus William.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all of that to be said, I bring that up because it helps a lot, like Travis was saying. I mean, it is easier for me to get in there and be like, you're the worst. Stop it. Don't do that. Clearly, I don't think that. My favorite was we were at HWA, and in general, outside of like stuff like this, Cooper and I try really hard to like, other than writing to shows together, we don't make it like blatantly obvious in a lot of situations. And I'll almost like oversell, like being like, God, I hate this guy when we're in the ring, so that no one like is the wiser from like a fan perspective, because I don't want people to get the perspective or the perception that I'm like being easier on him or whatever.
No, plot twist, Cooper. She's actually really pissed at you, and she can take it out.
Right?
Oh, believe me.
What a healthy therapeutic way
At least
to
I deserve
creatively let that out. We love
Yeah.
it. We
it.
love
I'd
to
only
see
get upset
healthy.
if I didn't deserve it.
But there was some night at HWA where he was doing his heel thing, and then he, at the end of the match, I raised his hand and he put his arm around me to be like a jerk and goes, Thanks, sweetheart. And someone in the front goes, what an asshole. And it made me laugh so hard. 'Cause when we got to the back, I'm like almost crying because I'm like, oh man, she's gonna be really disappointed when she finds out.
That's awesome. So taking this from my perspective, seeing, like I said, I've seen all of you guys work. I think the one thing that I've complained about the most with people has been cadence, their timing. And then the authoritative part, obviously, because like I don't know. I've never been in there and never done it. But you sit there and you watch it, and you will see some referees grab a hold of somebody and chuck them across the ring. Like, get the hell off of this guy. You will see that happen. Then in other occasions, you will see somebody, hey,
Excuse me.
no,
Excuse me.
one of the most awkward things I've ever seen was I saw a ref slap somebody in the ass, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're gonna
It
end
was
up in HR in tomorrow morning. It's inappropriate.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Combat? Was this
So-
urban combat?
No, it was a dude. A dude ref slapped the dude in the ass, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
I think
Why
we
would
had
you do
a
that?
spot where a wrestler kissed a ref the other day
Oof.
at Urban Combat.
Well,
Well, all right, that's urban combat though. Like that's
Yeah, they're the best.
yeah, that's their show. Their show is out there, and I know a lot of their workers and stuff. Their show
I'm
is out
one
there.
of them, fuckface.
I fucking fine know. You
Cooper
act like I
House,
go all
everybody.
over.
Kylan's got the talk card.
Okay,
he
what,
does.
Use that
Kylan?
talk card, buddy. Use the talk stick.
So Travis, I'm going to pick on you because you're the baby.
Yeah.
Rookie.
So as a ref, we've talked about making the 3 count. We've talked about making the 10 count. But there's one thing that we've not talked about that I think's the most important. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fundamentals is important, but there's one thing that we hadn't hit on that I think we should hit on that we've missed. Do you know what that is?
Enlighten me, sir.
So your main job is to take care of the wrestler, right?
Yes.
So if one's injured, how do you know?
I mean, I'm constantly checking with guys. Like when I'm in the ring, I'm trying my best not to be as blatant as I probably am, but I'm constantly like, "Are you okay? Are you good? Are you okay? Are you good?" with everybody, always, on both sides. And I need to get into the habit of like squeezing their hands. If someone's actually down and not responding to me, but I'm always
They don't tell
asking
you.
if they're okay.
They-
Yeah, right. But I'm always asking them if they're okay, always, because I'm big-hearted. So it comes with the territory of just making sure someone's okay anyway. So I'm always asking if they're okay in the ring. Now, if there's other methods, I'm more than happy to learn them.
I'll just tell you why I asked that question because my trainer, I remember it like yesterday. We was at a show for a cancer patient and one of our guys got injured and man, he ripped me a new one from one side of the gym to the other side of the gym and he was like, "Did you even check on him during the
I got you.
match,
Right.
after the match?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "You should be checking on that guy."
I
It was
got
a
you, sir.
valuable lesson that I learned.
Yeah. I even now with my bag, I'm always carrying like medical supplies in my bag too, just in case, I mean, not that and not that, you, unless you tell people up front, but I'm also CPR certified as well, just in case someone needs that kind of like help as well. So I went through CPR classes and everything, and then I always keep medical stuff in my bag. So
Yeah, I've always been CPR certified ever
Yeah.
since I got in business because for me, when I was in college, I actually took first aid and CPR, so I was certified in all of that. I knew what to
Yeah.
do, how to do it,
Yeah.
and all of that. So when I got into the businesses, it became second nature in a sense, because I'm basically their first line of defense.
Right.
I'm their first chance at survival. And if there's anything that I can do to help
Yep.
and keep them basically okay and alive and well and as little pain as possible, I'm gonna
Yep.
do my part. And so that's why I continued on it. So I like that. I like that you are like that, Travis, because it's a good thing to have, because that's not something I take too lightly, because I feel
No.
like if you're going to be in the business, I feel like, you don't know how long it's going to take those medical personnel to get in the ring. You don't know
No.
what they're doing. They could be in the back, in the bathroom. They could be doing something. You
Right.
don't know what they're doing.
Well, and
So,
that's the thing too. You don't know like all these places that we work at. You don't know if these venues or the places we work have medical stuff there to, accommodate for injuries of any sort. So I've always got, a medical kit with me in my bag, always, just in case, even if I'm not able to do it myself, I'll have it there for those who can. So,
And this is just my personal opinion. I'm just throwing this out there. But me personally, I will never do a death match. Do you know why I will never do a death match?
Why?
Because you don't know what either people,
right.
what they have.
So
Yeah.
I can go ahead
I
and
agree.
help you with that. Most of them, if they're done properly and somewhere riding around through hell is Lazarus Black, he can chime in and tell you. Most of them have to have recent blood tests, like right then on site. They have to present that information.
Yep.
Because Laz has told me about that on more than one occasion. I want to say, if you listen to the hashtag truth with him and two other guys, or another dude, Will Bannon, I think it was, they talked about all the rules and regs when it came to deathmatch wrestling. I would have said I don't want to do it because I don't want to slam my hand into thumbtacks and broken glass and shit, but that's me.
Done it.
Okay.
It
I
hurts.
love and respect you for that. Love that.
Yeah, when I did it with AJ and George South, that was my thing too. And everybody's like, "You should have been wearing goggles." I was like, I didn't even think about it with the light tubes and everything.
Because you gotta think. And let's just all be honest for a minute. We all love this business, but the business is not going to pay for your medical long term because you don't know what it
No.
can present in the present or the future. And you just, it was a cool opportunity that you had. But sometimes you just got to think about your health. And I'm sure Bill,
Right.
being in the health field, we feel the same way.
Yeah. No, I think I've known I wanted to be in the wrestling business since I was 2 years old, but I was very much encouraged. One other family member of mine, his name's Herbie. He's a chiropractor now, but he was in the Indies for about 2 years wrestling. And he very much encouraged me to go to school first and to make sure I had good health insurance before I got into the business. And so one of the reasons I didn't start straight out at 18 was that I was finishing my degree. So I made sure that I had a good job with good insurance before I jumped in. Not only because wrestling can be super expensive, and I'm a big believer in it's an investment in yourself, which to the comment of like gear earlier, whether it be refs or wrestlers, I get really in my feelings from a professional standpoint when people don't show up with professional
I agree.
gear. That majority of those same people are going to tell you they want to do this for a living, and then they don't carry themselves with that sense of professionalism and investment. And I don't understand how you can say you want to do this for a living and not be willing to invest the money that it takes to support it.
I like that. I get all my gear from the Salvation Army, so that's just me.
The
And
goodwill
that's on God. Okay, that's absolutely.
Well, guys, I hate to run. I've enjoyed the conversation.
Well,
Just got a last couple of words. Um, everyone that's in this room, I've enjoyed working with you. You've really, been a blast to work with. I wish nothing but the best for each one of you in your professional career. At your work and in wrestling. If there's any promoters that's listening right now, you would be dumb not to book one of these talents because they've always been professional. I mean, I only worked once with Travis, but I think Travis, I'm not taking a dig at you, brother, but I think once you get the training, the proper training, and you get some experience, you'll be good. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't
Thanks,
give
sir.
up.
Yes, sir.
And Shelby, I don't know when we'll work again, but we need to work again soon because I enjoy how you carry yourself in the ring. Because man, that 3 count's nasty. I wish I could be like you when I grow up.
Oh,
Thank you. Don't
there
worry.
is one other thing
Uh-oh.
from a person not in the ring's perspective during the match when you guys are reffing that irks the ever living shit out of me. I want you to tell me why you would tell the crowd what the count is before you would tell the people who ring the bell or say the announcement or play the
Like you
music.
said earlier,
because-
they're usually yelling at us.
Yeah, don't
Thank
worry
you.
about them. They're
Thank
not
you.
they can't ring the bell for you. They can't ring the bell to end the match.
You
They can't
always
announce
go
your
to the
winner.
timekeeper area.
Thank you. You start with us and then you let the rest of them know.
I'm just saying, if they're yelling, I'm gonna let them know too.
That's fine, but look at my direction first, or wherever the damn ring bell is. That's where you need to be looking. The ring
He's
bell's
got
here,
it.
cool. There. Then
Only
second
because
spot
that's me.
is the TV camera. Third spot's the crowd. All right,
Parking.
go ahead.
The last words with Colin Disney. This is Jerry Springer. I feel like I'm on Jerry Springer. Didn't he say that? The last words or whatever?
No, my final thought.
These are my final thoughts. I already said something to Travis and Shelby, even though I don't think that's his ref name, something else.
I
What
change
is
it
your-
daily. I'll do what I
Oh
want.
yeah, I
change
know
all
what
the
it
time.
is. It's Ian.
Yes.
Tim, I've enjoyed it, man. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you last. Ron, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing great things. Sky's the limit. Enjoyed working with you.
Same here.
The favorite one. The favorite child, Travis. Do you see this?
Katrina, Gail, whatever.
All the names.
So
It's fine.
it's always a pleasure to work with you. Like I told you the other day, the sky's the limits for you too. You got a bright future ahead of you. It's always a pleasure to work with Cooper and you, and wish nothing but the best for both of y'all.
We appreciate you, buddy.
No problem. This dad's got to go to bed.
All right.
Love you, Colin.
Bye, buddy. We love you.
Later, man.
See you,
Keep
brother.
on
Thanks
rocking
for-
the free world.
Thanks for chiming in, man. Appreciate it. So we've been going now for 90 minutes. And it can go as long as, guess what? We don't have constraints. So I got to, before we go any further, I really do got to say one thing and thank a group of people real quick. We got to give a special shout out to XWW, and there's a reason why. So XWW also has the Extreme TV online website as well as the XWW app on Roku TV. We're live on Roku TV.
Yeah.
Right
Yo, what's up, Roku? How we doing?
Famous. Yeah.
Doing good.
Tim's like,
Switch to
wait a
a more
minute.
comfortable chair.
Yep.
One plate
Tim's like, I got to get out of the kitchen if I'm going to be on TV.
They always told my kids, man.
Hold on.
I
Let me
did
get a better angle.
I did see your youngest.
Yeah, that's
have
right.
A book bag. So I was just doing homework, so like that's good. Like the former teacher in me is like, read a book.
Go team.
Read a book.
Dude, I could never be a teacher. I don't have the patience for it.
I don't
Yeah,
either.
man. Time right now, sometimes kids are easier than wrestlers, man. kids have to listen to you. Wrestlers are just like, wrestlers like
You think kids
what I
have to listen to you? Let me go get my son. Because
Ain't that the
that's
truth?
that's a no limit soldier right there, bro.
Mm,
I ain't gonna
yup.
lie.
Mhm.
yeah.
No.
Good lord.
So I have a question for you all. So
Okay.
obviously, as
You
referees,
all.
we are definitely more, unfortunately, seen as the background. But if you had an entrance song, what would it be?
Ugh.
I can actually answer this question because I do have an entrance.
Ooh, boom! Let's hear it, Katrina.
So my entrance music is actually custom made for my gimmick.
Oh,
Um, so it's the one that I have. It's called Slurpee Break. And the guy who made it for me, super sweet. His name is Ryan. He forgot Ryan Kublin. I'm terrible with last names. Please forgive me if you're listening to this. But I love it. He added some computer noises and stuff like that, like old school DSL 80s computer boot up noises at the beginning because my gimmick is that I'm a scientist,
A nerd.
which is also a shoot. Yeah, no, that's my song currently. And again, that's just from a professionalism standpoint. When I wrestle, I'm very like intentional about being willing to invest in gear and music and all of those things to present myself as professional as possible. But my first ever theme like song when we had our little backyard leagues when I was a kid would die if I got to come out to that in the best way possible, which is All the Things She Said. What is it? My Tattoo? Yeah. My first gimmick ever was Tippy Toucan, and I came out to in bright colors in that song.
that's badass.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What about you, Tim? What would yours be, bro?
Batista.
Hey, oh, bro.
Oh my god.
I
Walk
used
the
to
line.
mimic.
Uh,
I used to mimic his entrance growing up, and I can remember to the day the first time I ever heard it. I was like, oh, and the power behind it too made it even better.
He was my first favorite wrestler. So like he'll always have a piece of my heart. How about you, Travis?
So let's see. I hadn't made it as far as Katrina because that was kind of my thing. Was I wanted to wrestle, but then I just kind of fell into the referee thing. So Ron could tell you, I've sent him all kind of like bits and pieces of like what I thought would be me as a wrestler, as far as my gimmick and stuff like that. So, and that's where I get, which I didn't put my gimmick name up, but you know, Xander Oxley is my referee name. My whole thing was gonna be like the experience, which is gonna be like virtual reality and gaming. So there's a song that's called Game Over. It's just instrumental beats because I listen to a lot of like just instrumental beats, like people just making beats. It's by Anabolic Beats, and it's called Game Over. It's pretty cool. That would probably be mine. Now you just gotta go look. Now you just gotta go listen to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, if we're talking virtual reality, I mean, you always gotta watch the '90s classic, The Lawnmower Man.
Oh
And-
God, yes,
Love that movie.
yes,
I love that movie.
I'm
yeah.
a huge Stephen King nerd, so like every time I
Yeah.
read something and they see the movie, I'm like, whoa, it's not the same.
I remember a while back somebody had made a post online. They were like, put a GIF in from a movie that made you feel awkward as a child or made you uncomfortable as a child.
And
it was
say what it is.
It was Lawnmower Man.
Now, would it be the virtual reality sex scene that happens in that movie?
Oh
No,
man,
That made
no.
me uncomfortable.
It was the face in blocks movie.
yeah.
It was that, and it was a movie. The point was to use a movie, and there was so many people. This is where I figured out I was fucking old because there was so many people on the post that were like, "What movie is this?"
Right.
And then finally, somebody my age was like, "That's Lawnmower Man. Aren't you people educated?"
Good old
And
Jeff
it's like,
Fahey.
no, they had no idea.
Shelby,
It's
Oh,
such a
what's your
good
song?
movie.
My
Yeah.
song, if I could get a Day to Remember to like just let me have the copyrights to do it, that'd be great. But if you all listen to like the first 45 seconds of a song called Burn It by a band called Fever 333, like that
Hmm.
that 1 minute just gets me amped up. Like when I was teaching, if I had a terrible day, I listened to that minute and I could take on the rest of the day. But I mean, if Data remembers, like, yo, we'll give you like the Mr. Highway singing about the end, I would be like, thank you. That'd be great. Because they're like my favorite band. They're next to my favorite. Them and Kiss. I can listen to Day Remember and Kiss all day.
Absolutely, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
does anybody have like a gimmick that they really loved? Like not like your favorite wrestler, but like was there like a gimmick itself that like you see it and you're like, oh, I love wrestling. So good. Like for me, okay, brave yet controversially, I love the Doctor of Thugonomics, like fully outside of John Cena. That is my favorite version of Mr. Jonathan Cena. I love that. I love the goofy,
Jonathan.
the
Cena.
Jonathan Cena, the
That's-
goofy, like the metal,
I love it.
the like whole nine, the like full white boy Vanilla Ice like energy. I love it. Like there's something like inherently goofy but could still be serious about it that I loved. I used to know that word, like that theme song word for word. Loved it.
My brother had his album.
Okay, I'm not gonna act like I don't have it now on my phone. 100%. That's part of my gym mix. Like I'm not even gonna act like I don't.
Bad man. Yeah, speaking about being old, I didn't know that Vanilla Ice was in a movie until like 2 weeks ago. He had a movie back in like 92.
You didn't know
He
that?
was in the Ninja Turtles movie at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
He was in the second. He was in the second one.
I'm gonna ruin
Yes.
it for
Yeah.
all of you. I'm gonna ruin it for all of you. But like all like the nerdtastic stuff that wrestlers should know, I don't know. Like Teenage like Ninja Turtles, sorry. Like Power Rangers, you got me to like Turbo, and then I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was out after the second iteration.
Right? Like, I mean, horror movies stuff, I got you, but anything else, like, guys, like,
I mean, I like have very specific, like weird, I don't know. I kind of feel like this is everybody in wrestling. Like we have our own weird niches of things that we really like that are super obscure that no one really cares about. I'm a massive
Yeah.
Jim Henson Muppets fan. And I will stand 3 hours in line at Disney World to go in the Muppet Theater for maybe 5 minutes. But like, I don't know.
What do
I
you
think kind of everybody, like everybody has these like niches that they know like 101 things about that may or may not the rest of the wrestling audience.
Oh man.
So go back to your question, my whole thing gimmick wise, it's always been like the heels and the villains. So that whole just confident, cocky heel has always been mine. That's what I would be too. Like if I was to do the rest of the thing, would be totally be a heel. Because growing up and still this day, Razor Ramon, just that cocky bad guy forever will always be. And then when he was just Scott Hall, man, it's just that walk, the way he just presented himself, that is the perfect heel. But we're just so cocky and confident about it. That would be my favorite gimmick ever.
Oh, heck yeah. Tim, Shelby,
Undertaker. Period. End of story.
which version of the Undertaker? Are we talking about Dead Man Riding? Or are we talking about
Dead
classic?
man riding. Dead man riding.
Okay.
to this, I don't know, but because I always like to feel that like on the exterior, I'm very nice, upbeat, happy-go-lucky, but the inside,
You
like
always
I'm
have been.
definitely my mom's child, and I am one of the sassiest like sons of bitches on the planet, and that's totally Zanette's fault. But so with that, I just every time that MJF comes out, I'm like, I want to be this guy. And I mean, like, not even like, ooh, as a character. I'm like, I just want the confidence to be like, nah, you're ugly. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm like, oh, just to have the gumption to do it, and just and still, but also back it up with wrestling, like his skills, like MJF.
Right.
Like me, that man will go down in history books as like on the Mount Rushmore of like top villains in my world. Like he is
Right.
amazing.
Katrina, you're muted. You're muted.
Every time. I think what Jake the Snake said recently about wrestlers, like 90% of wrestlers not being remembered, or what it was, 75. I am not good with that. 75%.
But you a scientist?
Okay, science and math are like different. But he said something about like 70% or 75% of wrestlers, it like from today in like 20 years aren't going to be remembered, and I completely agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I'm personally like very old school minded. I don't like all the like we're going to throw 14,000 moves into a match and now it means I have talent. I mean, I think it means you're athletic. I don't think it means you have talent.
Exactly.
I think we've like come to make athleticism and being a good wrestler into the same thing, and I don't think that's always. You have people like Bianca, who Cooper and I were talking about this earlier, who she has a big personality. Even though she's athletic, her personality, in my opinion, is what you can have all the athleticism in the world, and if you have the personality of a paperclip, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be an entertainer that I remember when I'm old and gray. But I think that if we have entertainers like MJF, like I think he's so underappreciated. He's one of those that I think is going to truly be remembered in the next 20 years because he can do all that stuff, but the things that people remember are his character work. And that to me is always going to be what made me love wrestling, and it's going to be the thing that makes me continue to love wrestling. And again, I'm just a person with an opinion. That's just the style that I like, but I completely agree with you about MJF. I think that like the people who can do the character work are the people that I am inherently going to remember and fan over the most.
Now, I've got to say one thing to add to this. If you don't appreciate Cowboy Brock, you're fucking lost. Because Cowboy Brock is fucking gold, dude. Cowboy Brock is great. That shit's amazing. In all of wrestling history, man, I mean, I can remember the Warrior. I can remember Hogan. Bret Hart when he beat Yokozuna at 10. Just straight gimmick wise, I can't pick just one. Cowboy Brock right now has got to be the most fun you could have being an athletic beast with a personality, because if you look at Bobby Lashley is not that entertaining on a microphone. But he is a damn specimen when it comes to working in the ring. Now, I'm going to break it down another level, and I'm going to say on the independent scene, as in this guy does not have a contract on a major, he doesn't have a major wrestling contract. I absolutely love Effie. The moment
Effie.
I am telling you what I know. I have been in the ring with and been around a ton of fucking people in the last 3 years. Never, ever in my life have somebody stepped through that rope and the energy that they possess within them bleeds all over and infects everybody, as it did with Effie. I was like, holy shit. He comes up and over the top rope and he just walks right up. I fucking love this shit. And the moment it's like an adrenaline rush. It's unreal. And people underrate him because they don't like the shtick or they don't like the gimmick. Fuck off. Who cares? The dude can work so well. He's money on a microphone. He's funny as shit. And the mannerisms during the match to make you uncomfortable. That's the point, bitch. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I would love to do his what's it called? His big gay brunch that he does usually every year. That big the wrestling thing.
It's in
Yeah.
May, I think.
I was-
He's doing 2 of them this year.
Mhm.
He's doing 2 of them. He was supposed to get back with me. We were supposed to do a thing. I was going to interview him, and we were going to, talk about both of those. But I don't know.
Yeah, but that I think that'd be just a lot of fun. Tim, talk
Definitely.
now. I saw your talk finger.
Yeah. Tim, it's now your turn. What?
I was gonna piggyback off of what Katrina and Shelby was talking about with MJF, but for me, MJF, he started to go down a line of being like the modern day Stone Cold. In a little sense, think about it. He was pissed off at his boss. He walked out. Same darn concept, and then he switched course. That's what I love about the guy. He can change everything up at the drop of a dime.
Mhm.
And now he's like a totally different character.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I mean, I'm sure I'll marinate on that, and I will,
So go through an osmosis.
yeah, it'll have a moment, and then I will think on that. I'm not seeing it at this current moment, but that said,
Think
I'm
back
about
to when
have
he
to-
said F you on the camera to his boss. Think about
like
it.
every
Stone
heel
Cold
ever.
did that crap all the freaking time.
Yeah,
He started
but that's,
out and then switched to a totally different guy because that's what I was seeing. I was like, oh shit, they're about to do this damn Stone Cold gimmick for AEW now. That's what I was thinking. And then when he came back, it was like a whole like, haha, fooled you. Screwed you.
Shelby has the talking stick.
So I want to say thank you so much for having me on. This has been so much fun. Like, I would love to do this again. It was fun talking to all the other refs here. Like, it was fun getting to like pick your brains, figure out what shoot jobs are. But I am like Katrina. Oh, I'm not an old woman because it is 2023.
Yeah.
I'm an old man. And
I'm fixing to do the same thing.
and I'm
Yeah.
I was
gonna
gonna say, I'm
bounce.
about to have
Yeah.
to head out
Bounce.
myself.
Yeah.
But
Oh, dude.
everyone,
Yeah.
I'm so excited to ref you guys again soon. And
Yeah,
then
I ain't
again,
far.
yeah, it was. Thank you so much again for having me on. This was such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you again.
Hey,
Yeah, Ian, you're the best.
Guys, here's one last thing. Do me a favor and share the video. And then if people don't watch video, guess what you can do? You can direct them to the podcast networks, and they can go download it and listen to you talk all they want. They can own it. They can have it
Yeah.
forever. Because before I shut this computer down in a few minutes, I'm gonna upload this out to the world. So
Cool.
Yeah. What's up, world?
Thank you so much. Thank you
guys,
again.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
thank you all
Ian.
for joining me. It
Love
was
you
a great
guys.
night. I appreciate every one of you for being here. I've worked
Love
with
you
all of
guys.
you
It was
and
great working with y'all.
Yeah.
look forward to
Well,
working with you all again.
Yes.
Bye,
So-
everybody.
Agreed.
Guys, it's been a fun night. All these refs, we've had a great time. Guess what? We'll see you at the Indies.